Hello, everyone. Here we are to talk about what we're going to talk about, gentlemen and lady, today. Navigating business in Spain. How to come to Spain and have successful business. Thank you very much for joining everyone that is online right now. We're going to wait a couple more minutes to start the webinar. But meanwhile, I would like to introduce our speakers, our keynote speakers. First of all, I would like to talk with you, Tony. Tony,
Hi, how are you,
please
Luis?
introduce yourself.
I'm Tony. I'm a senior lawyer working for Talenom, specialized in basically in immigration and real estate law.
Sarah, well, I am doing in order. I see
Yeah,
you.
perfect. My name is Sara Tio. I'm a senior corporate lawyer specialized in M&A. I have been working as a lawyer for 7 years in my life, and in small law firms and in international law firms. And what I love the most is to help international clients to do their business in Spain.
Okay, and Diamond, last but not least.
Yeah, there we are. Exactly. I'm Damon, a financial controller and financial accountant, specialized working in Talenom for sure. Specialized in accountancy, taxes, and controlling in international spectrum. So nice to be here.
Okay, so thank you very much for being here. And today, Tony is gonna start about a really hot topic here in Spain, that is getting a visa. Huh? So you are gonna explain us the ways to get a visa in Spain. That's it.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna talk about some kind of different visas, like specifically business visas that you can get in Spain if you are an entrepreneur, you want to start a company in Spain, etc., etc. Of course, in Spain there's quite a lot of work and residency permits, visas that you can apply, but I think it is important to focus this webinar more in a business visas.
That's good. So, and then once then we have a visa, then we have to create a company. So, Sarah, you're going to talk about how we can create a company in Spain.
Exactly. You will discover how difficult can be to create a company here in Spain, but you will know that we in a good hands. The process will be smooth and easy.
Okay. Then talking about the smooth and easy, so Diamond, once you get a visa, you have a company, you have to pay taxes. So
yeah, exactly. Not just pay taxes, also the planification of taxes as well. According to international spectrum, we have to consider a lot of things here, and for sure, it's not easy. Be able to have a good communication with our clients as well, which means, we have to pay taxes.
Okay, that's good. Then, okay, with this brief introduction, let's go straight to the point. Tony, the floor is yours. So we are gonna leave you alone.
Okay, thank you, Luis. Well, as I said at the beginning, it is important to know that in Spain we have a lot of kind of different visas or work and residency permits, and right now we're going to focus more on these ones which are more for business purposes. We can distinguish two different kind of laws in Spain. One law for entrepreneurial is the entrepreneurial law, which became active like more or less. It was at the end of 2013, more or less. And we have like another general law, which for general regulation for foreigners. Okay. The second one, we won't treat this one because it's more like another kind of work and residency permits. We're going to speak more about the law for entrepreneurs, okay? Because this one actually helped to facilitate business investment in Spain, and they have a regulation of different kind of visas or work and residency permit that helps to the foreigner investors in Spain. So, in this law, I want to speak a little bit the quite essential visa, which is the visa for entrepreneurs. Okay, the visa for entrepreneurs, we can say like the excellent visa for those who want to come to Spain and I don't know, open a company or start with a specific project. But it is. I mean, it sounds like a easiest way to come to Spain to open a company, etc. But it's very important to know that it is not so simple as it can sound. Okay, because first of all, what we need to prove before the Spanish immigration authorities that if we're gonna open a company in Spain, and it's going to be like, and we want to have this work and residency permit, we must prove them that our project it's going to be something innovative, or it's going to have any kind of special economic interest or impact in Spain. What is something innovative? I know it's very difficult to explain that. There is a specific instructions of the Spanish immigration authorities where they state that what it could be considered innovative, but there is not a closed list. So for example, we can say that you're coming to Spain and you want to open a business related with pharma, okay? It could be considered innovative. You're coming to Spain and you want to open a business related with IT. It could be also considered innovative. Of course, if you come to Spain and you just want to open a bar, for example, I don't know, a pub, that could be a little bit more complicated to prove that it's something innovative. But if with this bar, you're creating like, I don't know, imagine in Barcelona, like 20 new job positions, then it can also have a very general interest for the Spanish economic, okay? So, what is very important to know, it's this business divided like in two different steps. The first step, it's to have like a very positive report, present a specific business plan before not the immigration authorities, but a specific organ named ENISA, which will help you which will check if your project is innovative or it's not innovative, okay? Once you have this positive report, and after that, you go to the immigration authorities and you go with the application, okay? But it's very important to know that this first step of having this positive report is one of the most important ones, okay? But imagine, as I said at the beginning, right? If you're coming to Spain and you say, okay, I want to open a business in Spain, but my project is not, it could be not considered something like innovative or stuff like that, okay? So there is another possibility for you, which is apply for a visa for self-employed, okay? This is a different procedure, not regulated in the entrepreneurial law, but it's regulated like in the general law, okay? And with this visa, you can start a business in Spain. There is nothing stated about if it's innovative, it's not innovative. Of course, you have to produce any kind of economic interest in Spain. For example, if you want to open a restaurant, okay, it is possible to go via this way. But the point is that the way of process one visa and another one, it's different. Because, for example, the visa for entrepreneurs, you can apply directly from Spain. But the other one, the only way for you to apply it, okay, it's before the Spanish consulate of your home of origin, okay? And the criteria of if you're gonna receive this work and residency permit or not, it will depend of the province. For example, the criteria of Barcelona, it could be more strict than the criteria of Santander, okay? So this is things that you always need to take into consideration before applying for a self-employed visa or for entrepreneur visa, and that is the reason that you need to have a very good lawyer who can explain you all these steps that you going to face in order to obtain this residency permit. So, as I said in the beginning, the visa for entrepreneur is like the basic one in order to open a business in Spain. But in this entrepreneurial law, of course, we have quite more work and residency permit related with the companies, with the business. And I'm going to explain that very fast, okay, because I wouldn't have enough time to explain all the details of every visa, okay? The digital nomad visa, I'm pretty sure that everyone you know about this visa. It's a visa created for those who want to come to Spain, open their computer, their laptop, and start work remotely for a company located out of Spain. Okay, there's a possibility in order to proceed in this way. You can also be an employee, or you can also be a self-employed person. Okay, work and residency permit for intra-company transfer. Imagine that you have your employer is located in Mexico, and you have another company of the same group for this employer and also for you as an employee, okay, to come to Spain, work in Spain for the Spanish branch, but maintain the work contract with the country of origin, which is also something very interesting. Imagine that there is a specific project in Spain, and you as a business person, you want to send like 10, 15 employees to Spain for a specific period of time. So this is going to be the right work and residency permit, okay? Work and residency permit for highly qualified professionals. Imagine that I have a company in Spain. It's a company registered in Spain, and I want to hire a person from abroad, okay? So if you offer them a specific amount of money, which is minimum 41,000 euros per year annual gross salary, plus this person has 3 years of experience related to the job position, or maybe a master and university degree, okay? So you can hire this foreigner person in your company, and it's a quite easiest way to do that, okay? Then you also have a residency for researchers. I know you have a university or maybe a private company who do like research and development. You can also hire a very but it's for a very, very specific type of employees, like they are working for a university and some research stuff, okay? And last but not least, I think it's very important to know that this law also regulates the visa for investors, commonly known as golden visa. I'm pretty sure that you know about that. You see, if you're coming to Spain, not like open a company, but you come to Spain, you acquire, for example, a real estate property for at least 500,000 euros, then you can get a work and residency permit for you and also for your family, if this is the case, okay? So this is a very general overview of different kind of work and residency permits that we can find in this entrepreneurial law, okay? Take into consideration that there are some basic requirements for all of them. Like you need to have a public or private health insurance by the time you're applying for that. You need to have enough financial resources in your bank account. You can also bring your family at the same time, okay? But this is like a general requirements for all of them, okay? Of course, every case is different, and what we do in Talenom before start working, we're analyzing detail by detail which is your case and which visa suits you more, okay? So, following a little bit the plan of this presentation, the third point is how to apply for a business visa. Okay, I'm going to explain it very fast. I mean, the most important part here, if we're applying for a visa which is regulated by the entrepreneurial law, there's two things that for you that are very important to take into consideration. That is not the same apply for a visa if you are located out of Spain, that you are traveling, I don't know, for example, with a tourist visa in Spain. And I'm going to explain you an example, okay? So imagine that you are living in the United States. You go to the Spanish consulate and you apply for the golden visa, okay? The visa for investors. They will give you a visa which will be valid for 1 year, okay? They will stamp it for you in your passport. If you with this visa, of course, you can enter Spain, but this visa only will be valid for 1 year. If you want to apply like for a official work and residency authorization, once you are in Spain, you need to do a reapplication here, okay? Which is always my recommendation. My recommendation is that if you are located in the United States, as I said in the beginning, you start to collecting all the required documents, and instead of going to the consulate, you get a tourist visa, or as a US citizen, you can enter without a tourist visa. You enter Spain, you show the stamp of your entry before the Spanish immigration authorities, and then you apply directly from Spain. So you won't need to go through all these steps of going to the consulate, try to get the appointment, because one of the main problems here is like in the Spanish consulates all around the world, it's a mess. I mean, it's very complicated to deal with them, and because the consulate of London, it works differently to the consulate which is located, I don't know, in Los Angeles, for example. So in order to avoid all this mess, very easy. You just come to Spain with all your documents, and we do the application directly from Spain. Okay, this is very important to know. Last but not least, tips and common pitfalls to avoid. As I said at the beginning, do the application from Spain. Okay. Another thing that to take into consideration, very, very important, it's the yearly collection of the public documents. Imagine that you are applying for a work and residency permit with your wife. Okay. Since it's your wife, you need to present a specific marriage certificate. Okay. What's the point here? The marriage certificate must has been issued no more than 3 months prior to the application date. And this is very important because if we present before the Spanish immigration authorities an expired marriage certificate or a birth certificate or criminal record certificate, it won't be accepted. Okay, so you will be in this position that they will require like for 10 working days to present a reissued certificate, and you probably won't have enough time to get it. Okay, so this is very important for all the immigration procedures. Be patient and the timings. That's the most important thing, because if we do it in the right way, we get the documents on time, then the application will be successful 100%. Okay, so I think I'm gonna give the word to one of my colleagues. Luis,
okay. Tony, we have one question now. There is one person that it's a person that is working for an American company, and the American company wants to open a subsidiary here, and he wants to move with his family here. Okay. It says, what kind of visa do you have to apply?
I mean, if he's working or she's working for a subsidiary company, which is located in the United States, and then they're going to open another subsidiary in Spain, my recommendation is to apply. I mean, for the intra-company transfer, because with the intra-company transfer, okay, the thing is that you will still maintain the work contract in the United States, okay, but also at the same time, if this person wants to come to Spain and to have a Spanish work contract, then he can apply for a highly qualified professional visa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he has these two different options.
Okay. Another question. There is a person, these persons that are known as digital nomads.
Yeah.
So there is a person that wants to go to work in Tenerife for several months every year. This person is telling me, do I need a visa? This is a UK citizen.
Yes, unfortunately, after the Brexit, they need a visa. Okay, they need a visa. Yes, because actually the digital nomad visa probably is the case, and also very important since after the Brexit, one of the main documents, if this person is an employee that he must process, is the A1. Okay, it's like a convention of social security. This is very important. But as a UK citizen, unfortunately, after the Brexit, they must process a work and residency permit.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Thank you very much, Tony.
Thank you, Luis.
Okay. And then we have here with us Sarah. Okay, you have the mic on. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Sarah. Then let's talk about how we can create a company or companies or in Spain. There is a question for you. You can answer whenever you want. The person that is in the US, were asking me what type of company they should create as a subsidiary in Spain. But maybe you can answer this later in your presentation.
Yeah, maybe I can answer later. But if that person wants the answer right now, I strongly believe that the best legal entity for him or for her is create a limit liability company, and then I will explain why. Okay. But before starting, thank you very much, Luis, for organizing this webinar, and thank you to all attendees for being part of this. So today I will cover the following topics. Okay. The first one is basically the legal requirements and needed documentation in terms of incorporating a company. The second one is choosing the right legal entity, okay, for incorporating a company here in Spain. The third one is registration process and timeline. And the very last one is the culture insights of doing business in Spain, okay? So, I I invite you to think. Imagine you are a foreign investor. So what do you think is the biggest challenge you must face in terms of incorporating a company? Anyone has the answer? I don't know. Maybe some of our colleagues can help. Maybe Tony or Damon can answer.
Bureaucracy.
Damon, maybe you have the answer? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I think it's like the bureaucracy.
Exactly. That's it. Thank you very much, Damon. The bureaucracy. Unfortunately, Spain is a very, very, very bureaucratical country. I mean, there's a big institutions such as the notary and the registry that they are very important here in Spain, but they work in a very old-fashioned way. So in this regard, the foreign investor must face the biggest challenge in terms of bureaucracy, because there are an amount of bureaucracy, very important. But with the right lawyer, you are in good hands. So all of this bureaucracy can be minimized thanks to a good assistance, okay? So I'm going to explain the normal or the common process of incorporating a company here in Spain, okay? So when a client comes to our office, knock the door, the first question is, Sarah, could you help me please to choose the right legal entity for incorporating a subsidiary here in Spain? So you must know that in Spain, we have two types of companies. The first one is the anonymous company, okay, that the minimum legal capital to incorporate this type of company is 60,000 euros, okay? And then we have another type of company that is the limit liability company, and the minimum share capital is 3,000 euros. So due to the fact that it is more attractive and interesting to create a company with that minimum capital, the majority of investors take the second option as the good one. But you need to know that we have another type of entity, that it is the permanent establishment, that is basically register the non-resident company as a resident here in Spain, okay? But I don't recommend this type of entity or legal entity, because what I found in the practice, it is very difficult to open a bank account here in Spain with a bank, with a Spanish bank, for such an entity. So I don't recommend to create this kind of entity, although it can be interesting if you want hiring people here in Spain, but I don't recommend it at all, okay? So the normal process is we offer the service to our investors, to our clients, for what? Well, we offer the possibility to draft a powers of attorney, okay, for represent our clients and for doing most of the paperwork without its personal presence. So with these powers of attorney, we can obtain, first of all, the NIF number. What is the NIF number? Well, basically, the NIF numbers is the tax identificational number for foreign people, for foreign companies, sorry, and it is mandatory according to tax administration. Then we can obtain the NIE number, that is the same number, but for foreign individuals, okay? With these powers of attorney, we can also obtain the digital certificate, and we can open the bank account, as well as we can appear on behalf of the foreign company before the notary and submit the incorporational deed before the commercial registry. So with these powers of attorney, we can do most of the paperwork, okay? So the foreign investor must go to a notary in their country and must legalize apostille. I don't know if you are familiar with this term, but apostille is basically a stamp that allows you that this document can be valid in Spain, okay? So that foreign investor must legalize the POA, apostille the POA, and sworn translate the POA in Spanish by an official translator, okay? Then it will be necessary to obtain a certificate of good standing of the commercial registry of such country, the foreign country, that it is not Spain. The certificate of good standing, if you are not familiar with this word, is basically an excerpt from the commercial registry that states that the company is duly existing under the foreign rules and the foreign legislation. And this certificate of good standing must be also legalized and apostille. And then we will need to be provided with the articles of the association. And again, the same process must be legalized, apostille, and sworn translate. As you can see, Spain is a very bureaucratic country, and you need to fulfill a lot of requirements and met a lot of requirements. Okay, then with this initial bureaucracy, okay, once we received everything, it is done that we can submit before the Central Commercial Registry 5 potential names for the new co that is going to be created. Then the Central Registry of Spain will choose one of these names on your list and will be the corporate name of your company. Then we also draft the articles of the association that are basically the rules that will be govern the new co in Spain, the new company. Okay, and we can go to via these powers of attorney. Like I said, we can open the bank account before any Spanish bank. Okay, with everything prepared, we can go to the notary on behalf of the foreign company, and we can notarize the incorporational deed. Okay, and then we submit the incorporational deed before the commercial registry. And then if you want to activate the company, if you want that the company starts invoicing and start hiring people, it is due time to activate it before the tax administration and before the social security. But this point will be better explained by my awesome colleague, Damon, who is an expert on that. So I will, I will leave this topic in a later stage for him, okay? And then what you need to know about the timeline. Incorporating a company for a foreign investor sometimes the whole process lasts 2 months. But you need to know something. The registration process takes around 15 business days. That is basically 3 weeks, okay? But why 2 months? It's so much. Why? It is possible, no? It's the typical answer that all of my clients always ask to me. So it's basically due to the fact that the NIE, the most long step in the whole process is, or the most consuming time step is the NIE number to be obtained. Why is so difficult? Well, the authority that issue NIEs always takes a lot of time to issue these NIEs. So it can be possible to obtain a NIE in a month, but sometimes last longer. So in 2 months or even 3 months. It is in August or in Christmas vacations. So sometimes for me, I think the most difficult thing is to try to manage expectations of my clients because when sometimes that thing doesn't depend on you, it is very difficult. But again, I strongly recommend to be well assisted with a Spanish lawyer in terms of incorporating a company here in Spain. So I don't know if you have questions. I don't know, Luis, if there's any question, but I will be more than happy to answer. So please feel free to ask.
Here we have another question.
Yeah.
There is a very specific question. So they're telling me, so there is one person with an Spanish passport, another person with an Italian passport. Both of them used to have Spanish NIE, but they are not living in Spain any longer. But they want to create a company in Spain. Do they have to come to Spain, or they can give you a power of attorney in order to do that?
Well, they can give me a powers of attorney. It is not necessary to come to Spain. So as I mentioned in my presentation, we can do most of the paperwork without your personal presence. But one thing that I miss, is there's only one step that it is necessary your personal presence as an investor. And it is to activate the bank account. I mean, I can open the bank account via powers of attorney, but once the company is duly notarized and registered, to activate the bank account, it is for the bank, for the compliance of the bank, it is a personal thing, personal step that me as a lawyer, I can do it. You need to come to Spain for activate that bank account. The only thing. The other, we can do the rest. So good. Yeah, not bad.
Okay, not bad. So, but if in the company there are several partners, imagine that there are 4 partners and one partner is here, this partner can activate the bank account on behalf of the other?
Yeah, sure thing, because the only thing that you need to take into account is in Spain, we have 4 types of management body. One is the sole director, the second one is the joint and several directors, the third one is the joint directors, and the last one is the board of directors, members of the board, no? But if you create a company with a board of directors and one of the members of the board is living in Spain, that member can open the bank account without any problem at all. Yeah.
Okay. One more regarding the limited liability company that they can create in Spain.
Yes.
They are telling me that in the States, a limited liability company is a company, a special company that is redirecting the benefits directly to the shareholders instead of the LLC cannot have dividends. So it's a very special one. This is working the same in Spain.
No, a limit liability company in Spain, you can distribute dividends, and it's the most common type of company here in Spain. So you can do most of the things. But in terms of dividends, maybe you can ask better to my colleague Damon, who is the expert on that as well. But yeah, it's not a problem. Eh? It's a typical company to be incorporated.
Okay. Let me check. Yeah. It's a strange one. Okay.
Shoot. We'll see.
Well, this is okay. This is a Japanese company.
Okay.
That want to create a company in Spain.
Perfect. Nice.
But by day one, the Japanese company create the company, not a person. So I don't understand very well because probably the person is not writing good English.
Okay. And the question is?
They want to create a kind of subsidiary in Spain.
Okay. So in this regard, I have been experienced in the past of creating a subsidiary for a Japanese mother company. So it's not a problem at all because it's the same process for a Spanish notary. I mean, the notary will require the certificate of good standing, the bylaws, and everything, and we can do most of the paperwork via powers of attorney. So not a problem. If you can contact, you have my email, and you can send me an email, and I will try to help. So don't worry.
Okay, good one. No more questions from here.
Okay. No more questions? Perfect. So thank you very much to all attendees. And Damon, your turn. Come on.
My turn, exactly. Well, thank you very much for this opportunity, Luis, as well, and from my colleagues. Once we have, like I said, like Sarah said before, when we have like set up the company, we have to proceed with the activation of the company in social security and tax agency. Okay, this is important, which means in tax agency, first of all, we have to inform all of the information related to incorporation, like the sole director, the information of the activity of the company, the tax period, for example, and the application of different taxes, which means we will break it down later. And then we have to activate at the same time in a social security, okay? We will have like a provisional NIF or provisional tax number, which means we have to wait more or less 3 days, 1 week maximum, in order to obtain the definitely tax number, okay? Once we have that, we have to hire employees for sure. We have to settle like the configuration of hiring employees. And also we have to settle the senior management contract, which means what kind of position will have the sole director of the company. Well, in this case, maybe will be more directors, but let's just say we have the following scenario. We're setting the company with the shares from a foreign company. Okay, imagine from Japan in this case, but we have to settle a sole director. In this case, sole director, there are not shares towards sole director, which means we have to create this senior management contract. This is something important, and then we have to settle also the general conditions related to this senior management contract. Okay. One question here is like, what is the, because we like, to understand and identify the costs related to wages and salaries. Here, the minimum salary more or less is 1,134 euros. This is the minimum. And then we have to add the 32% of social security costs related to the gross margin, the gross salary, sorry, in this case. Once we have the activation of the company in social security and tax agency, it's time to make a configuration of fiscal calendar and the obligation of the company. In this case, VAT for sure. Normally, we are used to work in a quarterly basis, which means every quarter we have to submit VAT. In case of international companies who would like to set up the company here as a subsidiary, normally we have to reinvoice all of the expenses related to the subsidiary company, and then according to Spanish law, we have to add the free, more or less, it's like a market or market rate, let's just say, or legal interest of money here in Spain, which means we have to add 3.25% of margin. Because you can imagine like, okay, we are setting up the company, we will transfer the funds, and it will consider as equity, and that's it. No paying corporate income tax, okay? But it's not work that, because we have to submit corporate income tax as well. This is the reason why we have to reinvoice all of these expenses, and at the same time add this 3.25% of the margin. Related to corporate income tax, this is like very general tax here in Spain. Normally it's 25%. Okay, in the beginning of the two first years, it's 15, but just if you have like a new company. If it's like a subsidiary company, then we have to apply 25%. So take into consideration in this sense. Also, if we are like making an example related to international company and a subsidiary company, for example, company from Japan and Spain, in this sense, we have to consider also the intra-group transaction, which means if in a 1 year we will overcome 250,000 euros per year, we have to submit a special informative tax per year, which means we have to declare and inform all of this intra-group transaction. This is very important because if we forget it, we can be in a trouble, let's just say. Then another important thing here is like, okay, if we per year overcome, for example, 1 million of euros related to the revenues, in this case we have to consider another tax important for the companies, which means tax activity. The tax activity we have to take into account, like here more or less in Barcelona, will be 0.1% related to revenues. But this can change according to some sort of features, such as the meter squares of the local, what is the features of the company, but more or less the range is 0.1%. Okay, so this is like the mainly taxes here in Spain: corporate income tax, which means 25% of the benefit. VAT. In case of international companies, let's just say there are not nothing to pay VAT, because we will have, let's just say, expenses VAT, which means we have to submit and recover this VAT. And this is like maybe one of the questions is like, when I can be able to recover this VAT? Okay. Imagine we're like in 2024 and we are in December. In January, we have to submit VAT from fourth quarter, and then we can be able to request the return of this VAT. Okay, public administration more or less have 6 months in order to return this VAT. Once we overcome these 6 months, then public administration also have to pay us one interest, because we are like waiting for this VAT. This is normally the general procedure and the rules related to VAT. Related to withholding taxes, because sometimes we have like a confusion here. For a company, it's not like expenses, okay? It's not a cost, because we deduct these withholding taxes for example, in the salaries of employees, and then once we deduct these withholding taxes, we have to pay this amount to public administration, in this case, tax agency, which means there are not like a cost. It's like a mechanism of control in order to have this sort of control related to withholding taxes. Then, if we have like a sophisticated company who needs reportings, we have to consider the following. Normally, we have like different cases, but for example, we are used to work with Finland companies who have to do the consolidation reports, which means we can be able to adapt with our resources and submit our let's just say our financial reporting towards Finland in this case. Okay. Also, we have to consider like the adaptation of the international accounting standards and the general Spanish account plan. This is very important because for sure the application of accountancy, or the rules of accountancy, it is in Spain. Okay, which means we have to use that standard Spanish accounting laws. But at the same time, we can be able to adapt this accountancy towards the requestment related to our clients, and then conciliate these financial reportings. Okay. Another point here, and it is important, if we, for example, have intra-group transaction and we will overcome 250,000 euros per year, there are the obligation to, like I said before, okay, we have to declare this information like a intra-group transaction, but at the same time we have to create something called like local file, which means in this local file we have to also inform like what kind of let's just say the behavior of these intra-group transactions, why we have to do these intra-group transactions, in which or in what countries we have different subsidiary companies. We have to settle all of the circle of these companies at the same time. And also, it's important to define the market price related to this transaction, these intra-group transactions. And okay, I think this is the general picture related to the taxes, related to the financial reportings. If you have more questions here, please go ahead and feel free to do that.
Let's go. Okay, good luck with the questions. So there is one person that it says that it's gonna live partially in US, partially here in Spain. He's asking if he has to pay taxes in both countries.
Yeah, we have to consider the nuclear, let's just say, the nuclear territory and the nuclear economical way for him. Like, if he has the wife in Spain, if he has like the family here, and then we have to consider all of the taxes, but at the same time, we also have to consider the conciliation between the different countries, like US and Spain. And for sure, we can be able to like conciliate these taxes in order to avoid the double taxation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, double taxation, what it means? That if he's paying some part of the taxes in US, will not have to pay the taxes here?
Exactly, correct. But there are some limitations. For sure, this is more technical and it's more for companies. But yeah, this is the general picture related to the double taxation.
Okay, another question. So it says, in some countries, there is a kind of grace period for taxes when you create a new company or you are a new freelance. Does in Spain exist something similar?
Yeah, it is. Actually, we can wait for like 2-3 months, more or less. We can just set up the company, but not activate the company in the Social Security and Tax Agency. We can be able to wait, and then we can start to pay taxes, but no more than 1 year.
Okay, no more
Because
than 1 year.
in 1 year, sorry, because if we in 1 year will have inactivation of the company, then it's a cause of dissolution, and there we will be in troubles.
Okay. This is a freelance in the UK. He's telling me that he has read that next year small entrepreneurs will not have to pay VAT. That's true?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, this is we try to focus on more in companies, but yeah, it's true. It's true. If you not overcome, if I'm not wrong, 250,000 euros, then it's not necessary to pay VAT. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, for companies, there is nothing similar.
No.
Okay.
No, we don't have that.
Okay. So this is very technical. So, okay, there is one person that wants to create a company here. Maybe it's for Sarah as well. So,
well, I can be able to
get Sarah on board. Okay. Okay, you're on mute. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So there is one company in Sweden, I guess, and they are asking that they were trying to create a company here some time ago, but they didn't, and there were some lawyers recommending something called establecimiento permanente, and others recommending just simply create a call because establecimiento permanente is not a good is not good for taxes. So this is for real. This is not.
Well, from my point of view, and maybe Damon can add something related to taxes and everything, no? But from my point of view and what I see in the practice, it is super high complicated to open a bank account and a Spanish bank account for a permanent establishment. So for that reason, I don't recommend to any of my clients to create a permanent establishment, because in the practice, they will find that they cannot operate in Spain. So that's the reason why I cannot recommend this. But I don't know, Damon, maybe related to taxes, it is a good thing or not? You can answer.
I mean, exactly. The permanent establishment, it's work for if you want to hire employees, but you don't want to set up the company here in Spain, which means it's just, okay, a US company would like to have sort of development projects here in Spain, for example, and they need hire employees here in Spain, and then we can be able to create a permanent establishment, which means only we have. There are not a lot of tax obligations, such as more or less withholding taxes and the annual declarations, and that's it. But not for having, revenues or try to settle like real activity and getting revenues here in Spain. It's more for hiring employees, but at the same time, like Sarah said, that's correct. I mean, we have a lot of troubles in order to open bank account, which means there are not actually special reason. It's like a internal political from
compliance.
bank.
Compliance
exactly.
from the bank. That's it.
Exactly, and we are also fighting, for have that, but at the same time, it's like a bottleneck.
Yes, couldn't agree more with you, Damon. Yes.
Another technical question. This lady is telling me that they have a company and they can create a bank account in another bank, not in a Spanish bank. So you can do that. I mean, they're telling me that they can create a bank account in a Belgian bank and they can operate in the company in Spain. Is this true or not?
They can't.
They can.
CAN,
well, can without the T.
Without the keynote. No. Well, the thing is that I always recommend to open a company with a bank account here in Spain because it's easier and because the notary always require this thing.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe I need to. Yeah, it's weird. For me, it's weird. Yeah.
Exactly, because now, well, we have like different laws related to banks, Spanish banks. Spanish banks actually inform also all of the transactions related to Spanish companies. And if we have in like a foreigner bank account,
there will be a red flag.
They can be in troubles as well,
Because it's a strength.
Exactly. Public administration cannot be able to control these movements and
to track everything. Yes.
Like the big deal.
Yeah. Okay. And then, good. So there is an American company that wants to open a company here. That's good.
Good.
This is a software development company.
Very good.
And okay. Okay, they want to open the company here, but they would like to know, this is very tricky, okay. They would like to know if it's the best place to open a subsidiary in Europe. Okay, they are joking a bit, okay, because they say that we know that from weather reasons and quality of life is the best place. But from business perspective, they say, please be
honest,
real. So
yeah.
So they want to come to Spain, but they are concerned if the place is the best place to go in Europe.
Related to taxes.
Related to everything, taxes, easiness to go business. They are not talking about taxes. Because if this is a subsidiary, they have a mother company, I don't know where, in Ireland or so, but they can benefit of certain tax benefits. So.
Yeah, I mean, just let's just say general perspective related to a subsidiary company and foreign company, because there are let's just say sort of benefits or tax benefits. For example, dividends. If we have mother company in, I don't know, in Europe, we have a Spanish subsidiary and we have to do sort of dividends. In this case, we have a deduction of 95% of the amount of these dividends, which means the taxation will be 5%. This is a good point to consider and defend our tax benefits here in Spain, for sure.
Okay, that's a really good one. Yeah.
Exactly. If you are like a simple company, like a company limitation there, you can be able to apply the capitalization of capitalization reserve, which is you have to maintain for the next 5 years benefits, and the difference of the equity of 1 year and another year, this difference we can be able to deduct the 10% of this difference of equity, which means another benefit to consider or take into account related to companies, for sure. Okay. And we have another, like, for example, if you would like to create a company for something innovative, like a development of software or something like that, there are a lot of deductions related to corporate income tax, which means maybe we can achieve the 40% of the deduction. So it's not bad at the same time. But for sure, we have to understand and identify if this company is like for innovative projects.
Okay, makes sense. So I think from my side, no more questions. So let's bring Tony on board. So I would like to end the webinar. If you can point out or summarize the main points of what you consider that it's important that people knows about visa, about creating a company, about managing a company with the proper taxes. So main points that we want the people keep in mind.
Okay, I can start.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
I think let's do it, Tony, Sarah, and Diamond.
Sure. Well, I think the most important part regarding the business is, first of all, not going like straightforward to a specific visa that you think that you are complying with all the requirements, and previously to that, do a specific analysis with a professional lawyer in Spain to see if you met the requirements, because sometimes you think that you met the requirement, but it's not the case. And maybe in these cases, there's another residency permit or visa which suits you better, you know? So I think this is the main point to take into account.
Okay. For me, the main point is that, as I mentioned, Spain is a very bureaucratic country in terms of incorporating a company. But with a good lawyer, you are in good hands, so the process will be smooth. I'm sure of it. So don't worry, we can help. Yes.
That's good.
And from my side, related to taxes and carry out in the finance, in this sense, I think first of all we can be able to have a good communication. In this case, well, in English, let's just say. And for me, it's super important understand and try to settle the good tax planification. I think this is the most important thing in order to, first of all, in order to avoid sanctions, penalties, and have like a good optimization of taxes.
Okay, that's good. So, well, let's finish this webinar. If you need to contact with any of our experts, you have the mail of Tony, of Sarah, of Diamond. So this webinar has been recorded, so you're gonna remain in LinkedIn and in YouTube without any problem. You can repeat it if you didn't get anything or you want to know a little bit more. And once more, again, thank you, Tony, Sarah, and Diamond for being here. It has been a pleasure and a really good learning experience. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.